Okay, I'm going to try this if it'll work. Notice this is slightly different than that. That's slightly different than that. Let me show you what I mean. That's slightly different. That's slightly different. And that's slightly different. Even they're all different, they're all the same. I don't know why they call it all Queen of Club trick, because really it's the all six of club trick. And then now everything is back the way it was. You just helped me figure that out. This is my version of 3-card Monte, but it's I call it color Monte. What you do is have 3 different colored cards. Doesn't matter which one. I had a good setup where it's the Joker for the finale, but I gotta find that one because I like that one the best when you let it be the Joker for the finale. But anyway, you pick what you want to be the top to show to be that. It doesn't matter what's on top. But if you had a Joker, you want to make sure it's on top so it can be the finale. Okay, so what you do is you go like this. You show the cards like this, and then you go like this. You go like this. You show. Well, actually, you start out like this. You show. You don't really say anything. You just show it. You know, they see what it is. And you say, you notice this is slightly different, and this is slightly different, and this is slightly different. Let me show what I mean. Then you flip this over. This is slightly different, this is slightly different, and this is slightly different. And they can see that they are the 3 different cards. Even they're all different, square them up, and then you go like this, take the top all the time. They're all the same. You're using the plus station count on, and then you say, I don't know why they call it all 6 o'clock club trick, because really it's the all, or whatever card you memorize will be the next card in line, the all Queen of Club trick. But it would beat all the Joker for me if I have the other one set up. And then I go like this, I rub it for effect, and then I show they're all back to different again. There are gaff versions of this, but like I told Dr. Meekin do and Dr. Kevin, eye doctor, and his son Aiden, Kevin, I can't think of his last name, but both doctors are Kevin. Anyway, that there are gaff versions with spring hinge, elastic thread, and all that stuff. And a lot of people try to think that like heat of your hand changed it, or there's an extra flap or something. I mean, their ideas will work, but what I like about this, you just helped me figure out a way to use a plus station count to do a one where you're left clean and they're light. And they try to do it, they ain't gonna find nothing. That's my version of color Monte. This is a pocket cube. When I first saw this, I was like, and how I saw the Rubik's Cube, all I have to do is just solve all four corners like if you're solving the Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube's four corners, here and here, and then do the patterns you do to the bottom, and it'll be done. And I was right. And I'll mix it up to show my point. See, okay, I'll just use blue for example as the top. Let's see, let's get all the solid blue. See, I'm doing like if I was doing the four corners on the top. Okay, so that I need to put that red with the blue, red with the red and the blue, or whatever color you have. All Rubik's Cubes are not the same. All pocket cube Rubik's Cubes are not the same. Pyramid and all that. Even the Rubik's snake is different colors. Blue, green, yellow, whatever color. Anyway, I like how when Daniel Dronley had the original Rubik's snake, I was like, wow. And I said, let me see that for a minute, Daniel. And I put it into a ball. He said, how did you do that? I've been trying to figure that out. I said, I learned that in the 1980s. I'd say it was around either 2018, 20, not 2018, 20, I don't know, Daniel Dronley when he was a teenager, or actually when he was a junior. That's how far it goes back that I solved that Rubik's snake for him. And I showed him how you do it. You just go from corner to corner to corner. There's one guy at Bill Rice Ranch camp. He knew how to Rubik's snake and he solved it. This is before we all went to the Wilds camp, and he could do a different cobra design than me, and he did a faster way to put it in a ball. He did some kind of angle, and he was able to go whoop, and it was done. I never seen it done that way. I do it one step at a time, but either way it'll get done. And it didn't matter which end you start in. The only difference is, like if the blue was on the outside and the white was on the inside, then when you do it on the other end, the blue would be as the white where it was, and where the white was, the blue would be, and vice versa. Oh, and for any puzzle, if you take it apart and put it back together, and if it's in a solid state, or if you solve it in solid state, it's going to work. But if you take a piece and put it in wrong, then all the pieces will get together but that piece if you remember the exact same color pattern. If you don't, then you'll just solve it, but it'll be another piece missing, still flipped around like that, and you'd have to take it out and put it right, because there's no way. And if you take 2 out, or 3 out, all of it are done, but the pieces that can't put together. It may be the same one, or it might be a different one. Anyway, you get the idea. Tony Culpepper had the pocket version of the Rubik's pyramid, and I showed him how to solve that with 3 steps. And the Rubik's cube had a pocket one, and then I got a Uno Rubik's cube for Christmas, and then later on my parents got me Rubik's Revenge. And later on my sister Cheryl got me a brand new one, because I don't know what happened. I made a wrong turn and the thing fell apart. And I couldn't put it back together. You could see a big ball. I guess I could solve the Rubik's Revenge because I found a pattern. It was something like how I did the Whippet, but and the missing link, and I couldn't do it. Oh, and the pocket version at the dollar stores were called Monkey Doos. I guess that's because it wasn't the original one, it was a generic version, so they call it Monkey Doo. It's like some of them are called Magic Cube, when the original ones, the early Rubik's Cubes, or no, Rubik's Cubes called Rubik's Cube. Then Tricky Ricky came up with his version, and later on, I seen Doug Henning do one, and then I saw one. I learned later on it's called the Enchanted Cube, but it's still a Rubik's Cube. And Tricky Ricky, turns out, even though he made his version, he had the same concept idea. Great minds think alike. He's like, he made his own version of bubble and then grab it and turn solid idea. And his idea is pretty clever. And then the ones in the Matic sets are the same concept, but it's the version that he made can put more bubbles in it. And then that's the one that Howard Chapel got too. Oh, and Blue Dawn dishwashing soap is better than regular soap because they make better bubbles. They last long. Although I would understand on the internet, if you have the right product, the glycerin thing, not the other kind of glycerin, but the kind that you make for soap bubbles, you have to need to look it up. I'm sitting there rambling on, I'm not solving this, am I? Let me solve this so that I can explain. I'm sitting there rambling on everything else, I wasn't even paying attention to what I'm doing. Well, I'll just stick for yellow. But anyway, I would have solved this. I'm so much in... Okay, I'll still leave the top. Oh, that's the wrong side, I need to put it on this side. Everybody's probably saying, when's Bill going to solve that thing? He said it's quicker. It is, but when I'm talking, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. But I'm just going to solve this and focus on that. Okay, I got the top done and I got it all color line. But if it was a Rubik's Cube, then it would match their centers like to there like a T. But right now I'm looking for, I see that in the right order. That's not. I need to look for diagonal or vertical. See, yellow to yellow, red to red. I guess that's green's the bottom then. So it's diagonal. So I need to put those at the bottom and at the top and the back here. Back here. Looking at me, it'd be like that. So I need to go down, over. Instead of once, I need to go twice. Once, twice. Put everything back the way it was. Then go once. Yeah, once. Let's see. Whoops.
Fried tarantulas?
Man, I don't want that in there.
Oh, you're recording? I didn't know. I thought you were watching this, Billy.
No, yeah, right. You see me recording.
I didn't see the camera.
I'm trying to record because I heard your mom calling up other companies to change over to get rid of Cox Cable.
I saw this here. I didn't see a camera. See, you misdirected me. I saw this. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And that's that fried tarantula. But I only saw this. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about this.
Yeah, right.
See, you tricked me. You tricked me.
Oh, yeah, it's going to snow, as my mom would say. All right, everything is in its perspective. Red to the red, green to the green, white to the white. Green, yellow, red. Green, orange, yellow. So we're good to go. So now I just look for, see, the green's the bottom, so I need to look for the green pattern. All right, a 2 on the side and 1, 2 on the top. There's a lot of patterns that go there. Then you just keep the top and do this kind of pattern. And then look for the solved state. Okay, here's the 2, and 2 on the side. This is from the James D. Norris Simple Solution to the Rubik's Cube. 5 easy steps. The 5th step is Yell without shouting distance outside that you solved the Rubik's Cube and then reward yourself to the fridge. Okay, this is the solved state. Here, 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 and here. And keep the top. Oh man, I was supposed to go 2 instead of 1. Oh well. Now here's the... See, I knew a shortcut. When I do that, I could solve it quicker. But here's the solve state and the pattern. The top. Oh well. But this will solve it anyway. Ta-da. See, I would have done solved this quicker than this, but when I'm talking, I'm not really focusing. That's how my sisters, when they were younger, got me talking. I end up washing, drying, and putting away. I went, what? And they laughed. Bill, we get you talking. You're not paying attention to what you're doing. And Tommy said, oh, thanks, Bill. Next you know, we're playing around the world and at Secondary Education Center. And later on, we moved to Clark. Anyway, we're upstairs, and all of a sudden, Tommy gets me talking. Then when the bell rings, oh, by the way, Bill, you were actually 1 in Around the World. I got you talking. I made it like we're still playing the game. Tommy! Anyway. We get the gist. I don't know, I was going to do something, I forgot. Anyway, you get the gist of the whole thing. The Rubik's Cube, I'm going to mix this up. There's a lot more going on with the Rubik's Cube than the Pocket Cube. The Pocket Cube is just solving the top and the bottom. Because you're solving the 2 corners and then do the patterns for the 4 corners. But here, you're doing a lot more than just that. Okay. Some people like to solve the center for the cross, which is good. It represents Jesus shed his clean blood on the cross. And everybody solves it that way, except for there's one guy actually does it my way. I ain't seen another one that don't do it this way but him. He's like me. He notices once you get the top and that pattern, you can... Here I am ramming again. Anyway. Okay, let me pick blue since I can see it better. These are neon colors. Okay. I'm trying to think. I get the corners first. Match them up. No, yeah, that's right. Once I get the corners, then it's much easier for me. Okay, nope, that don't go there. Nothing, no, that don't go there. That goes there. Okay, this one goes there. Once I get the top, I go much faster. The top is what slows me down. I don't know if anybody else, the top slows it down. My best time in 1980 is 1 minute and 12 seconds. 1 minute and 12 seconds. Okay, I got the top, and I got that T shape, matches the centers. It's called color line. Now, Jesus helped me figure out a way to do the bottom different than the book of James E. Norris. And James E. Norris has got to be a Christian too, because it says that with practice you'll find ways to cut your solving time. Alright. Alright, that goes there. This is the pattern I came across. I done forgot the original way to do it, but this I get done quicker. You do the pattern to bring the pieces down, and then do the pattern the same pattern to bring it into play. Okay. No, that'll go there. Okay, I need to find. Sometimes if you don't see the colors on the bottom, that means they're on the top. So I need to look. When they're on the top, it'll slow me down some. Yeah. So I do the pattern to bring it down, and then do the same pattern to put it where it needs to go. And then, nope, that's not it. Does the other one matter? Oh yeah, it goes there. Okay, now I got the top and middle done. Now I'm going to do the corners like I was doing the pocket cube. That's right. That's right. Wow, I don't have to do wow. What's the odds on that? Okay, just have to, sometimes you just cut yourself in time. Just do this thing you normally do for the thing. Normally I'd have to do, okay, there's that pattern I was talking about. Twice, 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 once, there. See? Now I just do the bottom middles, okay. Look for, okay, there's one done. If not, you do the pattern until you find the pattern. Okay. Gotta still do it. Okay, just keep the one that you see there. Okay, now we're in this kind of pattern. This pattern takes longer to solve, but I found a quicker way if I don't mess up. I do the pattern of the Ideal Solution by Mattel that when Toys R Us was open, but now it's closed up. It's like a ghost town now. Alright, they're in their perspectives, but they're in the opposite direction. Okay, so I'll just do the pattern to do where you just do one, where sometimes there's two solved, and then the two opposite, but they're in their place. Okay, I'm going to go by memory. Hopefully this works. Good. Now, oh yeah, because that's the top, so it goes on the bottom. That's got to flip over, and that's got to flip over. You keep the two solved ones on the side, on the left and right. I'm doing that same kind of pattern. Solved. The whole thing's solved. I wish I could find a Rubik's Pyramid. I can't find it. And a missing link. Those are the two I need to get back. Bring back 1980s. I knew when a Rubik's would bring it back to Rubik's Cube, he had something up his sleeve magical. And now I know the new generation will learn it and get even faster than us. And they ought to make another that's incredible. Because there's kids that used to do it, it was computer mix, and they're able to solve it. And then one adult was able to solve it, 2 Rubik's Cubes in 2 minutes flat. So that tells you that he can solve 1 Rubik's Cube in a minute. But, and then, and the Rubik's had these other Rubik's puzzles, which I didn't calculate, but I knew he had something up his sleeve, now I know. He came out with a Rubik's game, and then I was thinking once you did all the games it would unlock and then you could solve it like a real Rubik's Cube. I really don't know. It could, I don't know. But they got like Simon Says Idea, Magic Square. It's kind of almost like Merlin. Where's Merlin now? He's playing Music Machine. My mom liked playing the Music Machine. My dad liked to play blackjack. He was good at that. And he was good at Magic Square too. Ham. You know, my sisters like to play the music one too, and tic-tac-toe. They like that one a lot. And I forgot what else, but someone uploaded on YouTube. Someone still has the original. If they remake that, I wouldn't mind getting that again because Merlin was fun to play with. And that Rubik's game was good too. I know how to do that 1 to 14 thing and the missing square part. So doing the Rubik's game, I just used the same concept to put the pattern you see in that square. Eugene used to play me and everyone else, and I go, Bill, how you do that? Well, I know how to do those 1 to 14 things, and I just used the concept with moving the colored pieces around. And Hangman, I wasn't too good at that, but I knew how to play the game. And the commercial was Vincent Price. I can't play with these interruptions. Hangman, as in Vincent Price TV commercial. And Windex commercial, whatever you call that. Kleenex or whatever. Fantastic. I don't forgot the name of that thing. He goes like a shh in the shower. Oh, they clean the mold and all that. And he's been on the Muppet Show. And he usually has the Dracula fangs. They switched them up. Jim Henson had the fang teeth for Kermit the Frog, and Kermit bit Vincent Price, and Vincent Price freaks out. I think that's a different way. I've seen his Vincent Price movies, The House of Wax, and playing a magician, and showing how tricks are done. I thought that was a pretty good show. One of them was based on Houdini's idea to vanish a lady on a sheet glass. And then Copperfield must have read it too because he used it on one of the specials where two guys hold it up. But instead of a person vanishing on the sheet, on the glass, the platform, they hold it, they pick it up from the cones, and he appears on top of a sheet where it floats down like a parachute. And during practice runs, he used the kind that you're in a bevel base. But he found a better way where the sheet has a trap in it, and it just floats down. It's on wires, so he's safe. And then he just gets out of the trap, and they go, and it sucks up, and there he is. It's called All of Me, and the sheet goes, and there he is. Yeah, another magician uses the same concept, but not the method. He says it's a different method. So his could be like a black art principle into a bag and then reappear. You just never know. But the principle looks about the same. Or maybe he's using the Houdini version where one of the people is not real, and you could slide in it and slide out of it like a hollow shell and then reappear or vanish both ways. If we have the technology today to actually do that. Houdini had an idea. Yeah, I don't know if he ever did it or not, but I've seen it in old movies even, where a lady slowly goes into this hollow shell and walks off stage with the other assistants with the same similar outfits, and everybody's wondering, where'd she go? She was on a sheet, and the sheet didn't even touch the stage. She vanished. But that shell was part of the trick. That shell was like a hollow shell robot, and the others were holding it too. So you thought it was just all four people holding it. Then the girl gets on the sheet, then and the sheet doesn't touch the stage, and they whisk the sheet away. She's gone. Then they walk off with it, not knowing that she just went inside a hollow shell of a frame of a robot. If you get what I'm saying, like if you're being a knights in a round table and you're inside an armor suit. Well, anyway, you get the idea. Houdini Eric West has some neat ideas. There's been voices of the radio of the shadow knows, but Walter B. mentions that he's the voice of the Shadow Knows. So I don't know. Maybe, but he's also the ghostwriter of Houdini and probably some others. Walter B. Gibson. A shout out to all my relatives in Ohio, and all my Facebook friends, and all my and also my relatives that are in Florida, and my family tree, and my uncle Ed Ira Green and his wife and everyone in Florida, my aunt Darla and her husband. I can't remember her husband's name. Anyway, they had 2 or 3 Siamese cats. I don't know if they had children later on or not, but they had a Volkswagen like a Herbie the Love Bug in a way. The engine was in the back. The new versions, the engine's in the front. So if they make a new Herbie the Love Bug, they'll make sure the engine in the front, probably. Anyway, and shout out to all my friends on YouTube. Gato Preto, look up Gato Preto, Copperfield Elevator Illusion, and other magic secrets. And look up Fernando P1, Walking Through a Plate Glass Mirror, Doug Henning, Copperfield style, and 13 People Vanished, Copperfield idea, and Kickbusters, Video to Life Illusion, and Portal Illusion, and Copperfield's Flying Illusion, Trickbusters, that's different from Kickbusters, but Trickbusters, Copperfield, Trickbusters, Lance Burton, Trickbusters, making objects appear, Trickbusters making an elephant appear. It's not a real elephant, but they used one of the Trickbuster guys to represent the elephant, to represent the idea for Paul Daniels' elephant vanish idea, using perspective view and cameras, angles, and all that. Anyway. I'm glad God created YouTube and other video resources so we can upload things. YouTube seems to have more memory to upload more footage. Facebook does too, to a point. I don't know how people do Pinterest and Instagram. I see videos, but I can't get mine to do that. But I can get it to do photos. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But anyway, but YouTube, it's easy. 1, 2, 3. Or as Bobby Story says, easy peasy. I see that YouTube is upgrading, and even Facebook is upgrading. I didn't check Vimeo. Our church does YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook videos. Just look up Good News Baptist in Chesapeake, Virginia, showing the path of life. My new YouTube channel is called, with all lowercase, Bill Green. I had one that said Bill Green in capital letters, but the thing is, I lost the password. My new one, my friend Tommy Story, born again Christian brother in Christ, he says, Bill, I'm going to keep a copy of the information. I'm going to write down over here what you need to know. I think Miss Story's got a backup copy. We're not going to forget the password, because my computer had to get fixed. And then when we brought it, they said when we brought it, that when they get it fixed, we brought it back, you won't lose anything. Well, maybe they had good intentions, because I couldn't get back on, so we had to start over. I mean, it took me 6 years to get back on YouTube and start from scratch with that Bill Green, and that's my birth name. My parents adopted me, and they changed my name from Green to Page. But I decided to use my real birth name on YouTube because I'm hoping that my brothers Bobby, Chucky, Jimmy, and my sister Cynthia will see it and say, "There's my brother Bill. So he's with the Story family, and he's got adopted to Marshall Franklin Page Jr. and Charlotte Darlene Page, and his sisters are Cheryl, Lynn Till, and Stacy Elizabeth Smith. But their names used to be Page." And then I would say, "Yes, you're right." Anyway, I talk to people, even my doctors and the nurses and the they think it's good that I'm using my birth name. That way I can find my family. In other words, my brothers, my Bobby, Chucky, Jimmy, my three brothers, plus my sister Cynthia. Cynthia's named after Grandma Green. Green. Her name used to be Flowers, and she fell in love with William Tedrow Green. Then her name went from Flowers. It's actually spelled flowers, like you have a flower you smell. Flowers. Anyway, and one of their sons, Bill Green. I'm Bill. I was named after him, Bill Green. And then I'm the oldest, and then comes Bobby, then Chucky, then Jimmy, and then Cynthia, the daughter. So there was, see, huh?
I'm gonna set my clock for 7:45, and I'll get you and Robert some cereal for breakfast.
Okay, all right, thanks. Anyway, I went to Ancestry.com, and I found my family tree out there, and I let them know to add things. They said, "Well, we know you changed it to Page. Do you want to change it to Page or leave it to Green?" I said, "Well, no, leave it at Green, because they only know, my brothers and sisters only know me as Green. They don't know me as Page." But I'm beginning to think maybe I should have left it. What I should have said was keep it Page, but also keep it Green, so that way, either way, they could find me. But I don't know. I wasn't thinking at the time, but they left it Green, which is good, because they wouldn't be looking for Page. I was trying to look on Facebook, see if I could find them, or YouTube. And when Tommy said something I didn't think about. Bill, well, they got adopted too, so I'm sure either their last name changed, or their first name changed, or maybe their name is changed altogether. Oh no, you got me on. Then how are they going to know who I am? I mean, they know me as a slim boy. They don't know me as a chubby boy. I mean, they all were chubby. I wasn't. I was always on the slim side. Although I take that back. I saw some family photos of me as a baby. I was pretty chunky then. I never knew it, and then my mom, Darlene Page, said, "Well, see, when you were supposed to eat meat, you were still on milk when you should have had meat, and you were taken away." Then I don't know. Somehow they brought me. Came back, but at a certain time, I got transferred to the children's home. Then later on, Bobby and Chucky ended up coming to children's home. Jimmy and Cynthia, they were at Aunt Mary and Uncle Fran's house, where they got Matthew, and I can't remember the other kids' names. Anyway, they got two daughters and all that. Anyway, Uncle Fran was a mailman. Anyway, he was connected to a guy who knows how to fly propeller airplanes at the small airport I used to watch air shows. Anyway, I posted all that on the internet before in Google and Facebook, so you'd have to look that up. Anyway, just look in Google.com, search engine, aot.magic.secrets. Bill Page gets adopted, or Bill Green something, I forgot. But anyway, or just say Bill Page. Whereas I said, Mitch Leary says Bill Page is the keeper of David Copperfield's illusion secrets. If you can find him, he will rock your world. Well, I like how amazing Al Hastings on his YouTube, when he made his version of our sub-trunk idea. That was cool how he did that. And at the end he says, God bless you, Bill, you rock. I gave him 8 hours and 10 minutes on DVD of illusion shows, illusion secrets, including our magic, our sub-trunk and whatnot. Although now I don't have the resources to do 8 hours and 10 minutes. But when I did, I said, Mike Rock's amazing how much you can put on a DVD disc. He said, yeah, ain't it? That means he knows about that too. But my Sunday school teacher, anyway, my church member friend Wayne Berry coined me a walking magic book. I was like, I remember that. I like that. That's cool. I remember that, Wayne. And my parents call me a walking TV set, movies, and then I added the word time machine. And then our church, I'm a time machine for good news. I remember things. I'm thankful to Jesus. I remember things that people forgot that I refreshed their memory on of what we did and stuff. All in fun activities from either 1970s on up or 1980s on up. And my friend Bob Schofield and Fred Stahl, well, Fred Stahl got promoted to heaven, but he and Fred Stahl and Mr. Lowry taught me the ropes of the juggling and magic tricks in Copperfield shows. Well, Bob took me to see Copperfield at Chrysler Hall 2 times, I think. And one time we got front row seats. They had some left, and we went right up, and Bob said, hey, we're there. So we went from the balcony down to front row seats. And Bob was talking about hollow stairs and all that stuff. And I was looking, oh yeah. And what's neat about Copperfield that I ain't seen no other magician do that I know of, he goes head first in hollow stairs. I thought that was cool. That's when he was doing the tower illusion, and a stagecoach was slowly wheeling him away. And then from the magic of the 90s, the Story family took me there, and Tommy got to see his first Copperfield show, and he enjoyed it. And then, well, I tugged the whole thing out there on the internet, and Google and Facebook and whatnot. But I probably rambled on one of my YouTube videos of the same thing, and I'm forgetting. But anyway, you get the gist of it. I'm probably boring everybody. Like, when's Bill going to stop talking? I'm going to fall asleep at the wheel. Anyway, I pray this whole world gets saved, for it's too late. All they have to do is say, Jesus, please forgive me for all my sin and come in my heart and save me. And they have to really mean it. And once you do that, you're in the book of life and you stay there. And God won't take you out of it. And once saved, always saved. You never lose salvation. You may backslide, but you try to get back with the Lord. But maybe you won't backslide. But some do, and they get their heart right and get back with God. But you never lose salvation. You just got to read. Well, you'd have to learn more about it. It's good that Kevin Brown's sister found Jesus in her heart. And I don't know what happened, but she just got promoted to heaven. I don't know. Maybe she was sick. I don't know, but it's a good thing she got saved. And Kevin Brown was able to tutor her in Bible study. Anyway, I know he was excited. My nephew William needs to get saved. I don't know if it was the school or whatnot, but when he was a kid, he used to say, "Happy birthday, Jesus." And he would fight Bobby for saying it. No, I want to say it first. No, I want to say it first. But now that he's 21 years old, or before he was 20 years old, when I went over there, I said, "William, say happy birthday, Jesus." He pauses for a few seconds. No. And then he runs up the stairs. I'm thinking, what was that about? And then through Facebook Instant Messenger, he says, "Bill, I'm not an apologetic and I'm not on religion." I'm thinking, this is not the William I know. What happened to him? And everybody says, well, he went to college. He didn't go to a Christian college. And they teach world views. And our preacher says, be careful with taking your kids to a worldly public school. They'll be messed up in the head. Well, William's messed up in the head, all right. He let them in. He's so smart, but not smart enough to know right from wrong, I guess, because God is real. He says we go nowhere when we die. I said, well, you'll go somewhere, and if you ain't saved, you're going to be burning forever in a fiery pit. Yeah.
Not good translation.
Very funny. Ever since Matt Brown did that message, you guys are having a field day about tarantulas, what missionaries eat on the field. Oh no.
So what time does the TV show go off?
What TV show?
The Billy TV show. Does it go off at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning?
No. You said this before, and everybody was saying, what is your friend talking about? Now I'm going to have to do it again. I said, well, he wants to get some sleep.
Make sure it's not until 6 o'clock in the morning.
And that's when your parents were in Walt Disney World or something and saw
You mean
the...
the translation world?
Very funny. As God says, history repeats itself.